Hi everybody, my name is Jesse and I'm out here at the Hollyoaks ORV Park in Holly, Michigan with my 2021 KX250. Now if you've come to this video, it's probably because you want to find out, can a 250 motocross bike be a suitable beginner bike? Now, I think it goes without saying that a trail bike would make a far better beginner bike. Any of the trail bikes you see here would be much safer and more suitable for a beginning rider. But what you really want to find out is, can you skip the trail bike learning step and advance straight to a motocross bike like the 250 here? Well, I'm going to take this 250 out on the trails and tracks here at Hollyoaks, give it a good rundown, and I'm going to point out a couple things that you might want to be aware of if you're choosing to go with the 250 motocross bike as your very first beginner bike. One of the first things you'll notice about motocross bikes is the high seat height. The extra long suspension travel is needed to absorb the impact from jumps, but the trade-off is a seat height ranging from 37 to 39 inches for most MX bikes. Now I'm 5'11", and I could reach the ground flat-footed on my KX. If you're shorter than 5'9", though, you may have trouble reaching the ground. Now there are ways to lower the bike about an inch, which could help a little. You could put a lowering link in the rear, move the front forks up and the triple clamps, and even shave the seat foam down. If you're buying a used MX bike, try to buy one that has electric start. This added convenience will make your learning experience a bit less frustrating. Trying to kickstart your bike on uneven ground can be a bit challenging, even for an experienced rider. In terms of the controls, there really isn't any difference between a motocross bike and any other dirt bike. The clutch, brakes, and throttle are all in the same place and work in the same way. The main reason motocross bikes are not recommended for beginners is because they just have so much power, and this power could get you into trouble if you're not careful. But what if you are careful? Well, that's the key. If you're going to go with a motocross bike as your first bike, you need to be careful, and that means you need to be patient and smart. You'll want to spend extra time riding your bike in a large, open, flat field. You'll want to practice where there's enough space to get up through the gears. Take extra time to practice braking, do emergency stops, do clutch exercises like the one I'm doing here. I pulled the bike up to a little hill, and I'm just slowly releasing the clutch until I feel the bike begin to move. Then I pull the clutch back in to disengage the engine. This drill will help you become familiar with the feel of the clutch. Once you've mastered the basic bike controls on flat ground, practice your slow speed riding over small obstacles. The greatest danger, in my opinion, when trying to learn on a motocross bike is safely managing the power. Motocross bikes accelerate faster, and they're more responsive to throttle input. Blip the throttle, and the bike jumps forward. Ring the throttle, and you'll be doing a wheelie. Watch how my bike jumps forward whenever I blip the throttle. Looks pretty sketchy, doesn't it? Well, it's actually easy to control the throttle. The more you turn the throttle, the more power you send to the wheel. So when you're first learning, just go real easy on that throttle. Everything will be fine if you're focused and careful. Panic situations is how you'll get into trouble when learning on a motocross bike. It's human nature to try to grab onto something when you start losing your balance. When riding a dirt bike, your right hand is already gripping the throttle, and if you lose your balance, you might accidentally ring the throttle, causing the bike to accelerate. If you're already in the process of falling, this just creates a bigger disaster. So the key again is to be patient and practice on flat ground, and then ground with small obstacles before you tackle less forgiving terrain. Think ahead and avoid situations that will put you in panic mode. Ride within your limits. Now there's a few other things you'll want to consider. Motocross bikes don't come with kickstands, so if you get tired and need a break while out at the park or on the trails, you'll have to find something to prop your bike up against. Motocross bikes will also require more maintenance than a trail bike. You'll have to change the oil every other ride, clean the air filter, monitor the coolant, and it's common to replace internal engine components such as pistons and valves after about 50 hours of use. Clutch discs wear out and will need replacing every so often, as do brakes, cables, and various other parts. Such repairs are time-consuming for the first-time mechanic, and they require some specialty tools, and the cost of parts could add up to a few $100s. Your owner's manual will provide a detailed maintenance schedule for your dirt bike, and you should be able to find one online for free. Once you've spent a good amount of time becoming familiar with your 250 motocross bike on safe terrain, you can start practicing with more speed and some jumps. The track I'm on here is a simple oval track with several tabletop jumps. Tabletop jumps are great for beginners. A tabletop jump is basically a large hill with a flat top. This layout allows you to hit the jump safely at pretty much any speed. You can also just roll over it without jumping when you're first getting used to it. As you improve, you'll eventually be able to clear the jump, which just means you jump entirely over the flat portion on top and land on the downslope. If you don't clear the jump, you'll just land on top like this. Now if you're going too fast and completely overshoot the jump, you'll have a rather harsh landing. I'm not fast enough to demonstrate that here, and I'm not sure if I would want to. So to wrap things up, yes, you can learn on a 250 motocross bike, just be wary of the extra power. Remember to consider the fact that motocross bikes have a much more demanding maintenance schedule, which will require more time and money than a trail bike. And don't forget the little things like kickstands and electric start. If you've taken all this into consideration and still want to go with the 250 motocross bike as your learning bike, I say go for it. Just take it slow, be patient, and ride within your limits. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe. Check out my other dirt biking videos here on Go Hobby. Ride safe, everyone.